Alright, whatever. Reno, I'm taking your money at 7 cross up.
What the fuck?
Yusuf, I'm taking your money at 7 cross up.
What the fuck?
Butterjaw Ascendant is happening.
Fuck this shit. Oh my god! Bro, do you think you're good at a game because you won a major the week it came out? Sonic boom! The content I came for. Here we go, fuck yeah!
Here we go.
Oh, sorry,
awesome. No, of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. As I was saying,
no.
Fuck yeah.
The pride of H-Town. Reno, what's up, man?
Nothing, bro. I'm good. Just big chilling. Obviously, Net's got announced, so I should be practicing Street Fighter, but I've been playing Bloodborne all day, so that's how my training regiment's been going.
Yeah.
How are you, bro?
Yeah, good, man. Nationals being announced. That's probably one of the better, more positive stuff that's coming out recently, but we'll definitely touch into that. But for now, tell us a bit about your story, who you are and,
Okay. Sweet. I'm Reno. Hi. It's me. Hailing from Hamilton. I'm a Street Fighter player and I dabble in other fighting games as well. Should I just go through basically how I got into the scene and got into fighting games and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Or all right, sweet. So I'm a big YouTube head, so I love watching YouTube, and there's a couple of YouTubers I watched called Super Best Friends, and I was maybe, how old am I? Okay, I was about maybe 20 or something, and they were just, at the time, and they were talking and playing Street Fighter, and I looked up to these guys, and they were like, man, Street Fighter's sick, and I'm like, well, these guys said that Street Fighter is sick, so Street Fighter's probably sick. And then I just went with that. I bought Street Fighter 4, sucked at it. Bought Street Fighter 5, sucked at that too. And then I eventually made contact with some people from the Hamilton fighting game scene, mainly Kurt. And he got me to come along to the first couple of handmats I ever went to. I love the people there. They're real nice. Love being able to play offline. I still sucked for ages, but it was a real mean experience. And then I kept going to those, occasionally making my way to the Auckland Rambats up in Megaweb, RIP, rest in peace, Megaweb.
Yeah.
And where eventually I qualified for Damager Cup a couple of years ago for the very first time. And at that tournament, I got top 8, and that was the first time I really felt like, oh, maybe I can actually be alright at this game. And since then, I've been kind of going hard ever since. Results have been slowly improving, somewhat consistently getting top 8s, and with my highest placing being 3rd at Nationals last year, and I won the Sub-Zero Scuffle earlier this year down in Dunedin for Street Fighter 5. And now I'm trying to be a streamer as well, so that's pretty much my thing.
Yeah, well, streamer, you make a bit of content as well, not just for Street Fighter, but for various other games. You were kind of mentioning how you were coming up for Street Fighter, and I want to go back to your very first media presence you did, which was for Renews, when you had the long hair, when you actually looked like your character Nakali. Yeah.
Yeah. There we are. Oh
yeah,
God.
I know. Seems like quite a long time ago. Huh?
It's a lifetime ago, man. Look at it. That's a lot of hair. Here's the thing about that hair, though. It kind of looked okay from a distance. Don't get too close, because if you get too close, you realize it's gross, knotted, unkempt, unbrushed. Oh, you can see there, it's kind of just a big old mess. So, yeah, and I just got sick of dealing with it, so it was gone, bro. It was gone pretty good.
I mean,
afterwards.
You were that signature guy, you had the long hair, and you played the character to match it, Nakali. You formed quite a reputation for playing Nakali. It was very, I don't know, how would you explain that reputation?
That reputation, I was very much... I don't think a lot of the good, better players would have deemed me as a good player. That I think I would be more aptly described when I was playing Nakali as a dangerous player in a 1-2 format. Because when I played Nakali, I tend to have zero what's that P word? Patience. So I just went in at every possible moment, and I just always try and choke the other player out instead of actually trying to outplay them. So if you weren't on your game when you were playing me that day, there's a good chance I was gonna steal a couple of wins of you. So I think that was generally the perception of me back then.
Yeah. And, I did say in the beginning, you kind of the pride of Hamilton, because you're a staple Street Fighter player there, and that presence, you do really well. How much has the Hamilton scene helped in terms of your leveling up?
It's been everything pretty much. Like obviously especially at the beginning stages, they did a lot to fuel the fire under me, I guess. Hamilton's definitely known for being a lot more, not so much these days, but a bit of drama, a bit of trash talk. And so when that was applied to me by some of the other boys, I remember Rich, Aishi, I tell the story a million times, but Aishi Maori boy, he's like a really good player and he's a really good friend. But at the time, he was playing Balrog, which was the best character in the game, and he got it perfect on me, and it was the last round, and he teabagged me and crushed me. And I remember this motherfucker, and that kind of pushed me to keep improving and keep trying to do well, I guess. So yeah, as annoying as it was to suffer those kind of defeats, it definitely did push me, and I've got Hamilton to thank for that.
Yeah. I know one person that you do thank a lot, just for being there for support and training, is Arashi as well, fellow Street Fighter player, Kami, recently a teacher as well. I know he's been your boy throughout the years, man. He's a good dude.
100%. Day one, he picked me up to go to handbats together, and we've been tight ever since. And I'm constantly amazed and so proud of his improvements in both Tekken and Street Fighter. It's so hard to juggle multiple games at a high level, and he's done well, especially compared to where he started out. Because when he started out in both Tekken and Street Fighter, and he won't mind me saying this, probably, sorry, Dean, he was ass. He was trash, and everyone would just body him for free. And now he's probably second or third best in Hamilton. And
really,
always being for sure. His matchup knowledge in Street Fighter isn't very good, but his fundamentals are very strong.
Yeah,
and of course he's a much stronger Tekken player now these days. So if he keeps up the hard work, I see him in top 8s very soon.
I see that quite often, where the Street Fighter dudes will go into Tekken. Like Ghost Chips did it with Geese. Arashi's been doing it with Akuma. And I guess in a way it's been applying to you as well, because you've done a few like Tekken videos, like how to survive in the green rank section. I was kind of lucky that I've only ever played Tekken offlines, of course. And so I thought it would be a good stream idea just to see if I can get through green ranks just using the same dumb techniques I try and use in offlines. And it worked. Last Wednesday, I got to warrior rank, and it was kind of shocking how bad online is for Tekken. As much as I love the game and playing it, and yeah, I think it's a very popular game to kind of transfer over to if you start with Street Fighter, because the combos just flow, I think, a bit more naturally in that game, and it's just. Yeah, I think it's just a much more. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's. I really enjoy that game. I'm not stressing about it, just playing it. But can you really compare like Street Fighter's netcode to Tekken's?
I can, in that they're both dog shit, but they're just dog shit in different ways, I think.
Yeah.
Street Fighter definitely does have a better lobby system. But that's it, man. Where both games' netcode situations are terrible, especially for 2020. It's like we as fighting game players and fans deserve a lot better than what we're getting.
Yeah. So like for now, obviously Street Fighter, you've jammed Tekken. Are there any, like right now, because you've made content for those two, but are there any other content to be made that you're thinking of doing?
I mean, Yeah. I'm planning to do a lot more skit-based content as well, because I feel like there's a lot of and I'm just trying to be as dumb as possible in my videos and apply my humor as much as possible, because firstly, there's not a lot of FGC content in general, and then the FGC content that is out there is usually highly informative, but lacks a lot of, I guess, flair or dumbness or personality.
So you're saying it's very, very basic, or it's like on the extreme side of like, this is what you need to learn?
Yeah, and it's and I want people to stick around, so I'm trying to just inject a bit of my personality into it. So I think that's what people need to start doing to kind of try and make a difference and get people involved.
So when you're streaming or when you're playing a game, regardless of whether it's a tournament or if it's casual, do you feel like you always try to inject some personality?
It's much easier to inject the personality on stream, because on stream, if I win or lose, it doesn't, it's good either way. Because if I win, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I won. But if I lose, I can get salty, and the stream can be entertaining like that. But for tournaments, it's depending on the game. So if it's Street Fighter, I'm in completely, like, I'm 100% sweaty. I'm not talking. I'm just between games, I'll have a laugh and a goof to try and like calm myself down a bit.
Yeah.
But for other fighting games where I'm not as invested, so like Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken, I'm definitely feeling a lot more relaxed and happy to go a bit dumber on some stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, there's an art to streaming as well. And I can tell you're the kind that really loves playing to the camera. You love to feed into those moments. But have you ever had a time where you've dropped that act and gone like, oh shit, like I'm looking like a fool on stream or whatever?
There's never been a moment where I'm playing up to the camera and I start to feel self-conscious about it, because I'm like, well, if I think what I'm doing is funny, then I'm happy. I feel like then that means maybe someone else might think it's funny, and there's never been there are times maybe where I indulge in it too much, and it might cost me a round or a game or something like that if I'm thinking too much about what's going on with the camera and that kind of stuff. So the breaks in between games, I might make a face at the camera or might do something dumb instead of maybe sitting there and thinking about why I just got bodied. Yeah. So that's probably the only way I'd say I drop things, I guess.
No, that's fair. So if you don't count Street Fighter, what's one game that's really standing out to you at the moment?
Just fighting game-wise?
Yeah.
One game that's really sticking out to me. I mean, apart from Guilty Gear Strive, of course, I'm being on the horizon. I'm looking forward to that heaps. The only game that, maybe Dragon Ball Fighters. It's been having a really good run recently, especially with the new characters coming out, everyone loving Ultra Instinct and that kind of stuff. So that's probably a game that's always on my I'm always keeping an eye out for. If there's Twitter videos going along for that game, then I'll stick around and watch it instead of scrolling past like I do for a lot of other games.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably Dragon Ball Fighters.
That's great. Do you have a favorite Dragon Ball Fighters player in NZ?
Favorite Dragon Ball Fighters? Oh man. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be an arsehole. I'm going to say me, because I play Krillin, and I deserve someone to like my play, and it might as well be me, because there's not enough Krillin representation. So I don't care. I'll be cheap with my little Krillin. So I'm gonna say me. Fuck it.
Hey man, that's all right. You definitely know how to sell yourself. That's for sure. So, as a lot of people in the world would know, we are in a way COVID-free, despite having a few cases, but it's still contained. But now there's talk of this trans-Tasman bubble. Much love to our Australian comrades who, I can't imagine what a year of no offlines would be. No BAM, probably no OHN. Can you imagine what a year of no offlines would do to someone?
I feel like it could be very, I don't know, destructive towards people's drive, I guess. I feel like improvements would be minimal because if there's no offlines or tournaments to really train for, there's nothing prodding you to get better, I guess. So I think it'd be really bad for the productivity of the FGC.
Yeah.
in places that can't do offlines. And I think we're very lucky in New Zealand that we have that opportunity.
Yeah. What do you think, man? Do you feel like it could be possible before nationals? Like, honestly, your opinion.
Oh, is it possible? Maybe. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how Australia is currently doing. Like, I'm not keeping up to date.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just gonna take the Optimus Dave route and just try and will it into existence by saying yes, the borders will be open and we'll be in a safe space for Australians to come over and play some fighting games with us. Because I'd love to see the boys come over. I went to BAM last year and it was an amazing experience. And I met a lot of people and made a lot of friends. So I'd love to be able to host them and see them over here.
Yeah, man. They're definitely a passionate group, very ruthless as well in the competition.
100%.
Do you know? Have you heard? Like, what have been the opinions from the players in Australia in terms of how we've like tackled COVID?
I haven't actually talked to them at all. I'm assuming that they're like stoked for us, of course, and happy that we can play. They just like to see that kind of result in their country as well, so they can get back to playing as soon as possible.
Like, this is the scenario that we're probably going to face. Like, BAM's obviously cancelled, OHN most likely, but then the travel to and from Australia could be possible. And we've just announced Southern Cross-Up. So now you've got this surge, these army of Australians that are hungry for competition, offline competition, and they could actually come to New Zealand in a big group. Like, will we be ready for it is the question.
100% will not be ready for it. Will I get bodied? 100%. But I would love it. If the boys come over from Australia and they body all of us, I don't care. We got a chance to hang out, got a chance to play some games, eat some food. Like, that'd be amazing. So if that is at all possible, that'd be the dream.
How does it feel that it's going to be in Hamilton, bro?
You can't see, but I'm rubbing my nipples. Oh, Hamilton! Yeah, no, I'm fucking stoked. I'm out of my mind stoked, and I feel like it's a good thing for maybe not some of the Auckland players who might find some difficulty in travel, but in terms of like a big venue, a big dedicated venue, it's much cheaper because it's not in Auckland. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be able to host such a big tournament here.
Would you like to make a prediction? A Hamilton player per each game that could potentially win, that you would like to see win it?
Like, just come first place, like, I mean, in each separate game? Mm-hmm. All right. For me, I would like to win Street Fighter. That'd be ridiculous. So that's me. And of course, if I don't win, then I'll obviously want my Hamilton boys to be up there, getting top 8, winning as well. So Dean, Rich, Cam, all the boys. Tekken. We actually have a few like strong Tekken players in Hamilton. As anything, he doesn't travel up to Auckland very often, but he made top 8 at War. He's made top 8 in other tournaments as well that I just can't remember. I think he got 9th place at Nationals, so I'd love to see him do well in Tekken.
Yeah.
And those are our 2 main games, and of course Smash as well. We got a couple of strong players representing Smash. Blaz is out there doing work, and we got heaps of strong Smash players in Hamilton. So I'd love to see them do extremely well in Nationals.
Well, if we, Aucklanders or wherever we're from in New Zealand, are coming to the major, what's one thing we need to do in Hamilton before we leave?
Okay, so here's the thing about Hamilton. Fucking nothing to do. But if you want some food, I'll hook it up, dude. Chili House on Victoria Street will blow your mind. And this is going to sound crazy, and this might sound gross, but fucking stay with me here. Spicy noodles at the Chili House with pork intestine and duck blood. It sounds revolting. It's fucking delicious. It'll change your mind. It'll change your life. I got it as a joke once after Hambats, and it's the only thing I order from there now. So get that shit. Get the maple tofu.
Did you just say turkey blood? Turkey blood?
Duck blood. Duck blood.
Oh.
Yeah. So it comes like in a gel form, these little cubes. So it's fine. It sounds gross, but you put it in your mouth and you'll be alright.
Okay, I'll trust you, man. So who would be like some of the big players that you'd want to come over for Southern Cross Up? We did get a few like Dread Tech, The Beast, a few of like Taj Goro, a few of those guys. But who are some of the Street Fighter guys that you want to come to nationals this year?
Street Fighter players I want to come over. Well, obviously I want Static Charlie. I want Charlie because he looked after me in Melbourne. I'd love for him to come over and hang out. Damo as well. Looked after me when I was in Melbourne. I'd love to for him to come over and we can run it back, play some more games. And just I guess all the big guns from Australia as well. So Somniac, ROF, Rumors of Ghosts.
Yeah.
Just man, it'd be awesome to have them over for an offline. That'd be sick.
It would definitely be, man. I mean, like, you've got a match here playing with ZG. Have you had much experience with him?
Yeah. So I remember, I think it was not last Nationals. The Nationals before 2 years ago was when he came over for to play in a tournament. And that was my first time meeting him, and that was my first time getting to play him. And he played Vega at the time, and I played a top tier Nikali, and I just remember him smoking me, and I could not believe someone was this good at Street Fighter, because my experience in Street Fighter had been limited to New Zealand, right? And to have someone who had this kind of international experience and was just washing me so cleanly, it was kind of mind-blowing. So that was my first interaction with him. I didn't get to play him at BAM, but I played him online a few times, and he's constantly switching characters to whatever's cheap. Stuff you, ZG. I'm going to call you out. I don't care. But yeah, he's a real cool guy. Always does his best to look after our players, especially New Zealand players. Whenever they come over, he's been good friends with Salt Factory and Mia, so he's done really well by us. Yeah,
I think I saw him. Yeah, I think I saw him when he came over. It was 2018, right? There was a Ridges. Yeah. As soon as you said he was sick Vega, I was like, yeah, I remember that, man. That grand final was fucking crazy.
Yeah. I think he got fourth in that tournament. I want to say fourth.
Yeah.
I can't recall exactly, but he definitely did extremely well. He only lost to Ghost Chips in the end, and he actually sent Ghost Chips to losers in the pool play.
Yeah.
But then got eliminated by him in top 8. So yeah, extremely strong.
So like, what's the meta now for Street Fighter in New Zealand? Like, obviously we know Ghost Chips is up there, but Zazop's up there too. And there are a few people that are saying that you're on the come up, that you're kind of climbing up there.
I am extremely humbled that people would say that. I would like to think that for myself as well. I'm not sure how true that is. I feel like recently I've hit kind of a plateau. But there are still a lot of players that freak me out and give me trouble at the top end. So Jambo, of course, Cam's Ace, Zazob, Ghost, there are still a lot of players that I look at and be like, man, it'll be a good day if I can beat this person.
Because I remember Christmas Damager last year.
Yeah,
Moose was on commentary with Tinkos, and he said his exact words were, he's the reformed nut. He's gone to nut rehab, and he was commenting on your change from Nikali to Karen.
Yeah,
is that kind of would your current success be due to the fact that you're playing a more? I mean, I don't understand the character as well, but
sure.
The change from Nikali to Karen, like, how much has that played a change in terms of your playstyle?
It's been everything pretty much. With the characters obviously play differently, but more importantly than that is how I'm trying to play the characters. So with Nikali, and I want to preface this by saying I'm still a nut with Karen all the time, but with Nikali, I was a nut 100% of the time, and there was no brakes on, and I was always trying to get in and make you guess without really thinking about any adaptations I could make or any of the adaptations you're trying to make. I'll just try to enforce a mix on you and just pray it worked out. And that works for a while, and then people started to catch on, and then it stopped working, and I couldn't pull myself away from how I was playing this dumb character. So I decided after War, where I failed to get top 8 for like the second or third time in a row, that I was going to switch over to Karen. Play a character whose strength was just staying on the ground and exploiting people's button habits, and it's allowed me to take a second to chill out when I'm playing a game and try and think about what my opponents are doing, opposed to what I can do next.
Yeah.
So yeah, I attribute a lot of my recent success to playing Karen. For sure.
Because in the NZFGC, I don't know many Nikali or Korean players. So why are there not many Nikali or Korean players?
So Nikali, we still have Marcus Glob from Christchurch. He doesn't play actively as much as he used to, but he's still very good. Why I don't think we see a lot of Nikali players is because for a long time there were other characters who could just do what he did kind of better. So Akuma was just a stronger option if you wanted to play a Shoto-esque character. So there's no real reason to play Nikali, and the game kind of evolved around him. Everyone else got buffs and nerfs, and he kind of remained the same. So he kind of got really stagnant and boring for a lot of people to play. So I think that's why a lot of people didn't stick it out with him. I sticked it out with him because I'm stubborn and a bit of a prick, and I like mixing people up. And the reason why we don't see a lot of Karen players is actually last season we were starting to see a rise of Karen players. So Kamzace was dual maining Minat and Karen, but due to recent nerfs, and they're not like groundbreaking nerfs, but due to nerfs to Karen, he's switched over to Chun-Li, who is now the new hotness in terms of footsie-based characters.
Yeah.
So I think overall, it's just there are some characters who just did their job a little bit better.
I remember seeing one of Optimus Dave's stream. He was saying that Kareen's V trigger or her V skill 2 isn't that particularly useful. Is that still the case?
I think it's definitely underutilized. I'm currently experiencing it with it now, just to see if there's anything I can do with it. But V skill 1 seems like the better route. You get more combos, better pressure, more ways to kind of surprise your opponent in neutral. So I think there's still a way to go at the moment.
Yeah,
but I'm still looking into it.
Yeah, and Nikali's one, the burp, I saw a bit of it on when you were playing on CO's damage house, and the fact that it can really aid against Dulcim, because he can only do medium punch, right? He can't do anything else.
Yeah. That V skill is, if you got time to set, because obviously it's got a bit of a startup. If you got time to kick back and set it up, it's really good. It's free real estate. You just walk behind it, and there's not much the opponent can really do about it. So Nikali definitely won out there.
Yeah. And
received some kind of really decent buffs that he definitely didn't need. So I'm not going to complain, because there's still occasions where if I'm panicking, I'll go back to Nikali. So it's nice to have that in the pocket.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen how you pull out Nikali. It's always like the last stop. It's like if I'm making a stand, it's here now. I'm bringing him out. If I pull out Nikali, you know that I am A, desperate, and B, on complete tilt, and C, I've just checked out. If I'm playing Nikali, that means that I'm just going to try and do stuff, and my brain's off, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Which is a terrible way to do things, but that's just where a lot of, as a player, you need to have more mental strength to try and pull yourself back in from those kind of real bad mental situations. Yeah. Have you ever had the urge to just not choose Nikali, or it's more like a fuck it, like I'm going all in, or I'm going all in with a dull mind?
It is always a bit of a war when I go back to picking Nikali, because I have to, as soon as I hover over Nikali, I have to admit to myself that I got outplayed trying to play Karen. So that means like my opponent is just better. If I'm staying away from Karen to go to Nikali, that's me acknowledging at that time that my opponent is currently just doing better than I am.
Yeah.
And so I have to kind of swallow my ego to pick Nikali. Which is what happened when I was simp on CL's stream. He was up a good couple of games, and I have it over Nikali. I'm like, okay, I'm getting outplayed. It's time to go dumb or go home.
Yeah.
And evidently, I went dumb, and then I went home because I lost. So
yeah.
So yeah, that was that experience.
Cool. Well, yep, you are right. You are Reno, and you're sponsored by Riot. Now they're an Australian org. Could you give us some information on those guys?
Yeah, so super cool guys. They approached me at a similar time as my last sponsor did, and I ended up going with a different team. And then when that didn't work out as I intended, I kind of went back with my tail between my legs. I was like, hey, right, you still need a Street Fighter player? And luckily they're like, yeah, right, come on. And my experience with them has been really good ever since. They've helped me attend tournaments. We're looking after things like flights and rego and like Airbnbs and that kind of stuff. They're really, I feel, a shining example of what esports teams should be. Doing what they say they're going to do and keeping good communication with their players. And so I thank them endlessly for giving me an opportunity. And I hope I'm doing them well by, trying to stream as much as possible and doing as well as I can in tournaments. The first tournament they sponsored me for, I guess, was... Well, at least this year, yeah. The first tournament, big major I was in, I won it for them. So hopefully that's just a continuing theme.
Yeah. Why is it, do you think, that a lot of orgs can't keep their promises? And I'm not talking about Riot, I just mean like in general, like, because I think we're too familiar with orgs that overpromise but underdeliver.
I feel like a lot of orgs don't mean to do that. It's not their intention to be misleading. I think that a lot of them are just really ambitious, and sometimes that ambition just kind of bites them in the butt. That's what I'd like to think happens. Obviously, there are some orgs out there who just like are kind of full of shit and don't deliver at all on anything, and they know that's what they're doing. But I like to think a lot of them, especially when they're new and starting out, they just want to do as good as they possibly can by the community and their players, and they end up shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, I have an agency being in the performing arts, and I know that it really pays if you have a good, like, you should just have a good relationship with them, and just let them know that the communication lines are always open. You know, like, just not even checking in as to what tournament are you going to next. It's more like a, hey, bro, like, what's up? You doing all right? Like, just genuinely checking in, not like asking them like, okay, cool, we need to know when you're going next, how much you need, etc., etc. I think obviously, like, orgs, it's their job, but they get lost in like the financial side of things, which is fair. But it's like, you know, you're still people at the end of the day.
Yeah, I never feel like I have to hesitate if I need to ask them something or talk to them about something. So yeah, it's been really good so far.
And cool that you mentioned Sub-Zero Scuffle, because you know you won that for Street Fighter. And I know a lot of us were underestimating it because we would have preferred to go with the more reliable tournament, like what we knew we were expecting. But then with COVID and that, it's like it's the only thing we've had offline. It must mean something a little bit more to know that you took that out.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I can say that I'm the only person who's won a Street Fighter major this year, which is obviously there's only been one, and they're like, you know, some of the top players weren't there for it. But you know, we take those, and I like to rub that in when appropriate, which I deem all the time. So definitely means a lot for me.
Yeah. And you know, big credit to Butterjaw for hosting the first major for Otago, and you were bunking with him for that weekend with Wowza, and I heard you guys had a good weekend. Yeah,
all of us won our respective games. It was a good weekend for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, Danny really came through that tournament. Like obviously it was a joint effort with the FGC down there and Smash community down there. But yeah, they really came through, and it was a really good time.
Yeah, man. Danny.
That's something I'm trying to do more as well. It's like I was planning to obviously vlog every single offline event this year, but we've only had one, so this is the one I could have done.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely planning to do more as time goes on.
Yeah. No, it's cool because I mean, yeah, you've got Twitch footage, you've got people like doing like their own match clip recordings, but you know, it's good to do a vlog because it's almost like a behind the scenes kind of feel.
Yeah, and I've gone recently through a bit of a period of my life where I'm like, man, I need to start just recording more stuff, taking more notes. I've started taking a journal down just so I don't feel like, so I can look back in 5 years and be like, man, what did I do at that time? You know, I've got something to look back and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened there, and this is what happened here. And so the vlogs are just another part of that, as well as me trying to make, you know, entertaining content for people. It's also a bit of just an online memory bank for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And they did have some salty sweet matches, as you saw.
Yeah.
Is there, since Nationals is coming up, is there one match that you would like to have for a salty sweet?
So my thing with money matches is that for Street Fighter, I've always been like, anyone can come at me at any time for Street Fighter for a money match, and I'm keen because you play your hardest on a money match. There's a lot. Obviously, you have pride, and when you're playing in a tournament. But if you're in a money match, you're in that money match, and you're playing that person not because that's how the bracket turned out, but it's because you said to yourself and everyone around you that I can beat this man's ass or this chick's ass. I can beat them up. So I think for myself,
yeah. Do you do the call out, or do you do the call out, or do they have to call you out?
So the thing is, as I've gotten better at Street Fighter, it's been harder for me to justify calling people out. So I can't. Obviously, I can't go calling out players who I think might be weaker than me, because then I just look like an asshole. I'm like, yeah. Let me dunk on this
someone that's
player.
Equal level or high. You know, what I mean? Like, you don't want it to be free.
For sure. So, yeah, like I said, any player I'll run a set with. Fuck it. If Ghost is free, I'll fucking play him. I'll beat his ass. I don't care. I'll do it. Fuck it.
The question is, are you going to pick Nikali at the beginning, or are you going to do it with Karin?
100% Karin. Obviously I still go back to Nikali every now and again, but I'm trying to stay away as much as possible because for me it's kind of a character of weakness.
But I said, you made quite a reputation for yourself playing Nikali, and with your skill level having improved a lot since then, like, you don't think you can stick it with Nikali even in the big battles?
Here's the thing. As much as I've improved as a Street Fighter player, playing Karin, as soon as I go back to Nikali, it's like all that work is instantly undone, and I go back to playing the exact same way, and I can't pull myself away from that kind of play when I play as him. So at the moment, no, I'm not. I don't have the mental toughness to be able to break through that barrier.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Oh, Sio.
Yeah, Sio, yeah. This was a cool little feature that he had. It's like kind of like a fight night. Like, you all had your own matches, and you were versing Simp.
Yeah, it was a great idea. And props to him for getting it going, man. Like, it's so important, especially now in the lockdown situations that everyone's facing, to be a person who can deliver content. And especially if you're looking for things like sponsors and that kind of thing. Yes, you can be a good player, but if you got no personality, if you got no charm, if people don't know who the hell you are, sponsors aren't going to look at you. So
that's exactly right, man.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Riot's been working out for you, that they've been treating you well, and you definitely deliver in terms of, your performance and also your personality. For you and Simp, was this just like a normal match, or did you kind of go in treating it like homework?
So the Simp for the longest time in Street Fighter, Simp has always been my personal, like, man, this is the motherfucker I need to beat. Because we go back and forth in stretches of, like, I beat his ass for a while, he beats my ass for a while, I beat his ass, and it goes back and forth. So there's always an expectation for myself to always beat him, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes that kind of hinders me a bit in terms of my performance, because I'm like, I need to beat him. I need to win. Oh my god, I got lost in what the question was, but
no, just in terms of how you treated this match with Simp. Did you treat it like homework, or did you treat it like just another run of the mill, another run of the mill set you've had? But it's cool because I remember Red Bull Kumite. It was Nikali versus Simp, and you guys went down to like the final round. It was as close as it was.
Okay, I'm gonna correct you on that one for the Red Bull Kumite.
Oh,
sorry. He beat me 3-0. He beat my ass.
Shit.
And Dulcim's worst fucking matchup, he beat my ass as I was playing Nikali. So I I can't lie and not give him props for that because that was really impressive. I didn't have the answer at the time, so yeah, he just cooked me.
But with Karen, do you feel like you've got the answer? You're starting to discover the answer?
I feel like it depends because I like at the Needham I played Nikali against his Dulcim and I beat him pretty soundly. So it's in terms of my Nikali versus his Dulcim, it's just how we're doing on the day, I think.
Yeah.
And for Karen wins the matchup too, but it's a little bit more, tiny little bit more work. So I think I can do it with Karen. I just need to play better, do better.
So, educate me. Which character matchup is the worst for Karen, and who in our scene plays that character?
Bad matchups for Karen. I'd say probably Chun-Li. So Camzace is a bit of a worry for me when I play against him because Chun-Li and Karen are kind of similar archetypes, where Karen will do more damage. Chun-Li's just got better buttons in neutral, so I have trouble trying to establish my ground game when I'm constantly kept down by her better buttons.
Yeah.
So that's Camzace. He also plays Manat, which is also another bad matchup for Karen because again I can't get in because she's so far away all the time. And Abigail and Geef I struggle with personally. So players like Terran Slayer, I haven't beaten him since he came to Nats. That's the only time I can remember beating him. Every other time online I've been cooked. And Chopper I worry about all the time as well when I played against him.
Yeah.
Because he plays those characters too.
Did you play?
So those are probably.
No, sorry, man. No, you go. You go.
No. I didn't have anything to say. You're right.
Did you play much of the online Rambats while we were in lockdown?
I did. And this is where my excuses come out. So I was on commentary a lot, and so I'm just gonna lie and say that was the reason why I didn't do as well as I should have done. But honestly, it's just because I'm bad. Like I just played like shit. So I did play a few of those, and yeah.
Okay.
Never won any of them, but I got top 8 a few times. It was fun though. It was fun. It was better to have that than nothing at all for sure.
Yeah, man. So now I'll bring it to the CPT, or should I say the madness, the torture. It kind of did reflect Evo. You had so many matches that just couldn't get seen, and even the ones that did, like there were some interesting outcomes. Like there was the IDOM incident as well, which I think he had to pull because he said the connection was too laggy. Did you watch much of it?
I don't. I followed it up on the drama afterwards. I didn't watch it personally because I think I was working at the time.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, like so. Just to clarify, like IDOM didn't do anything wrong in terms of following the rules, in terms of cheating or anything. He was totally in his right to do everything that he did. The only issue was that he's already qualified for Capcom Cup, and so the winner of this tournament was to qualify for Capcom Cup. So there was no reason for him to enter it, I guess, apart from fun.
Yeah.
And so what he's done by getting to grand finals and quitting is he's knocking out a lot of other top players along the way to get to the grand finals. A lot of players who could have really used this chance to get into Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of skewed the results in that regards. But I don't blame him, and I don't blame the players. I especially don't blame Metro, who's got the laggy connection. I just blame Capcom for allowing these rules, not allowing the players to play on training stage, not fixing their shit note code, and not banning IDOM from being in the tournament in the first place when he's already qualified.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all on Capcom and the people who make the rules for the online tournaments over there.
Do you feel that once the players qualified, that should be it? There shouldn't even be a choice to you can play in this next tournament or not?
No. I feel like if that would get a lot of people off Capcom's back. I personally feel like that they of course should be able to play, especially in offline tournaments. But yeah,
because there was Anakin.
You got me in kind of a pickle now, man.
No,
I'm thinking about it.
Because Anakin, I forgot when, but Anakin, the Tekken player, he had something similar where he qualified, I think maybe for the World Tour or for some other like qualifier for the World Tour, but he wanted to keep playing, and so he gave up his position every time when he played another tournament. And I mean, there were some people that were complaining that he's gatekeeping, but then they should still be allowed to play if they want. But that's the price, is that they give up their place. I mean, should gatekeeping even? Yeah, I don't know. Where do you stand on that?
I think as long as. So the thing is, if you're going to enter the Tekken World Tour, like the finals day, or I don't know what the day is called when all the top players who have qualified to compete.
Last chance qualifier, yeah.
Same with Capcom Cup. If you are planning to enter that and planning to win, that means you should be able to be prepared to play against everyone who's going to be there if you're serious about winning, including the people who are going to be jumping into the tournament that you're trying to qualify. To win to qualify for. So I think it's actually fine for qualified players to jump in. Yeah. As long as they're not literally as long as someone still gets in from that tournament that's not them, as long as the spot is still filled, then yeah, that's fine as far as I see it.
So how did you feel the CPT actually ran?
Last year or just online now?
Online, sorry. Yeah. How do you feel CPT Online actually went? I know you Street Fighter players had an idea of how it was going to go, but I mean, now that it's kind of happened, what would you suggest for next time, if there is a next time?
Geez, yeah. Obviously, and we're always going to scream this into the void, because we know no one's listening. Fix the netcode so that your game actually runs online. But barring that, let the players pick training mode. I know why they don't want players to pick training mode. It's because it's got the little squares that can kind of help you measure your footsie spacing, and it's the most boring stage to look at. So if you want people to spectate your game, you don't obviously want them to look at the most boring stage for every single game in the tournament. But if you want your tournament to have any kind of validity to it, let them pick training mode, please. Yep. Please. Training stage.
No, definitely. What, it's like a stream 3-4 hours and you had like very little, like only a small portion of all the matches, but you can't really cover that many matches in an online tournament of that scale. I mean, so they did what they could, but yeah, fix the online. But as you said, into the void it goes.
Yeah. Never to be heard again.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take us into the touchy stuff now. The FGC codes of conduct, where people just need to keep their hands to themselves, in a nutshell. And we'll go over it in 3 ways. So obviously the first wave is like the Skullgirls, Mike Z, the creator, and then you had F-Champ and Chris G, the BLM joke and the Black Girls thing that he had from like 3 years ago. The whole punishment doesn't fit the crime. Like Chris G and F-Champ, they both had completely different outcomes. What are your opinions on those cases?
So, people who say and do dog shit things need to be held accountable, 110%. We just need to make sure that the punishment, I guess, is consistent along everyone, because that's been a lot of the a lot of people have been lashing out because they deem that the consequences have not been to the right standard, whether it's the punishment's too high or too low, and it's not consistent between players in terms of how much of a hiding they get. So yes, it's important to call these people out to show that it's not acceptable, even by the higher level players and the icons of the community. But yeah, we just need to make sure that have some kind of system in line that make sure we address these things consistently.
What I was thinking was, you could have some kind of system or membership thing, not monetary, but say if someone was to enter our scene, for example, they're supposed to sign some papers and say, hey, cool, if you want to be a part of this, this is our code of conduct that you agree to. Anything shy from breaking the law, we'll deal with in the organization's, capable hands. But then once it crosses that line, then we will do what's necessary to protect our members and to ensure the safety of anyone who's coming here in the future. I mean, that seems a bit too extreme, but considering what's been happening just recently, it's kind of becoming more of a, there needs to be something there.
Yeah, I think that would help with the consistency thing. Like, everyone signs the same shit, everyone understands what, and it's just clearly written out what we will and won't tolerate.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably a
it's
good way to
common
go
knowledge.
around
We
things.
know what's acceptable and what's not, but it's just a nice way of, it's like that back thought in the people's mind, like, hey, you really don't want to go there because that's the thing, they know what's going to happen.
For sure.
And it's very scary. Like, when you look at the sexual allegations, the sexual grooming cases, where, like, in a way, people, someone would, like, that it's not right, but they don't know that they're a victim, so they just kind of, it's like if you run a red light, you're not gonna, it's wrong, but it's not like you're really gonna say anything because it happens in the moment. But I guess that leads into the second wave, which is did you hear about that Smash player Senpai? Yeah,
Totally.
I won't say anything more, but 24, she, and the kid was 14 back in 2016, and regardless of how much time has passed, like, that's still an offense.
That's still sexual assault. And obviously there's going to be people like kids on Twitter memeing like, oh man, I wish that was me. I'm like,
that really fucked me off, when people were like, dude, you got that when you're 14? High five. And it's like, you have no idea what.
It's clearly damaged him. Like, the experience has been nothing but a bad time for him. Like, you shouldn't. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
No.
It's like 14, man. Those are your formative years where you don't even know yourself properly, and to have someone, it doesn't matter if it's a woman, or a man, like, to take advantage of you in that kind of state. It's kind of messed up. Like, no, it's not kind of. It's completely fucked up.
What is fucked? What is fucked up, man, is like, people don't, like, with people who have an opinion like that, they feel that men can't be victims of that kind of abuse, and they can. With that 100%. State of mind, are you saying that men are exempt? It's like, fuck off. It goes both ways.
It totally works both ways, and that's something that's going to prevent men from, that kind of mentality is something that's going to prevent a lot of men from coming out with their stories.
Yeah.
For shame of being like, oh, I shouldn't be complaining about this, I had sex, or I'm not going to be masculine if I come out and say this shit. It's like, bro, it was, you just got to accept, as shitty as it was, like, yeah, you were sexually abused, and you need, and like, but we're here for you, and we can do something about it.
It's okay to speak out. Like, forget about your fucking player profile, what you're known for in the community. It's like, just fucking say something, bro. Like, it's okay. For sure. And then the third wave, I guess, is what's transpired for us in, like, the past 5, 6, 7 hours. Like, more accusations have been coming out, and the biggest fucking one, which a lot of us were fucking taken aback by, is Evo, Mr. Wizard. Yeah. Right. As of now, as of being here with you recording this interview, man, Sajam, James Chen, Tasty Steve, Spaghetti Rip, Maximilian Dude have all pulled out of their roles for Evo. MK11, them fighting herds, have pulled out, as well as Capcom. And now, my question is, it's kind of written on the walls now, bro, but do you feel like players are going to boycott Evo if there's more stories about Joey C?
I feel like it's hard, and it sucks because Evo means so much to so many different players, and it's obviously a tragedy for it all to fall down because he fucked up, and he that's obviously going to be a bummer for a lot of players. But shit, I support everyone who's decided to pull out, and I think it's obvious. I think for now it's in Evo's best interest just to fucking drop the tournament, cancel it.
Yeah.
It's
maybe this is
especially games coming out, just disappear for a bit, like, you know, get out of there.
Yeah. I guess
and maybe it can come back headed by other people, or maybe a community effort, something like that, something that's going to bring the prestige of Evo back. But this is a mighty big stain.
Yeah, because the FGC, like, we're a pretty passionate crowd, but we're also loyal, and I honestly don't know if standing Mr. Wizard down will actually save the integrity of what Evo is and what it's achieved. I don't like, honestly, like, you're right. This is like a big thing. I don't know.
Mr. Wiz and Evo, like, the names are like so closely tied together. You know, it's like Lapshy and Canada Cup. You know, it's but if one of those fuck up, you know, they're both going down. You know, so I guess we just got to look for Evo's out. You know, got to look for the new big thing. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's so obviously so fresh. So there's not a lot of time for us to put any thought about what's going to happen next. But I think it'd definitely be in everyone's best interest for Evo just to not be this year.
Yeah, like, you're right. Right now, a lot of people are hurting, or a lot of people are coming up with their stories and they're feeling hurt because they've held onto that baggage for so long.
Yeah, and fucking good on them for coming out. Holy shit! Like,
like the story, like, prior to recording with you, bro, the stories would, like, there was still so much more coming to the surface.
Yeah, there's probably a few more since we've been recording.
Yeah, definitely, right after, and that's the scary thing. And what hurts me is what else is there? Not what we don't know, but just literally what else is there that we haven't figured out, like, that we haven't heard about yet. And I'm really going to be honest. I feel like our scene, like, just out directly us, you know, we take pride in being a part of the NZFGC. You know, we take pride in looking through the bullshit. And so when you have people right on the other side of the world and they're telling these stories about people from the community doing such inappropriate things, I know. It's like, you guys are like family. You know, for us, you know, like, you guys are like family. And so I could never imagine anyone over here doing that, let alone that existing elsewhere. It's I
think it's like you can't say that anywhere is, you know, immune to that kind of thing. But I think we are at such an advantage being in New Zealand, where our community is small, so everyone knows each other. We keep tabs on each other. We're all mates. We're all friends. And so, if one of us gets hurt, that shit doesn't fly. That shit doesn't stick around. You know. So I think there's a lot more accountability in smaller communities like ours. So I feel like by that nature, we are a lot safer. But I don't think any community, like I said, is immune to that kind of stuff. So we just need to be vigilant and make sure we're looking after our own.
Yeah, and overall, I feel like people in the FGC, we took comfort feeling that we were different from other communities, that we could see through the bullshit, like I said. But with all the stuff coming to light, maybe we're not as clear cut, you know. Like, as you said, you know, we need to step back and actually realize, like, no, we're not as mature as we think. There is stuff that needs to be dealt with. And the weird thing is that if lockdown wasn't happening, would this have really come to, you know what I mean? Like, would all of this been apparent? Like,
like,
if it was just a normal tournament season, because people have less time at home thinking about things, and
So like, obviously, as tragic as COVID is, it's been, I think, a real, it's shone light on a really important thing that's affecting our community, and something that we need to address. So I think, I don't think this would have happened in a non-COVID world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to end this on a sad note. But I mean, like, people just want to come together and play games and want to feel safe in an environment where they're amongst friends and family. And so, like, just generally, if there's anyone, you got any fucking problems, just say something, to your mate, to your neighbor, to anyone. Just say something. Don't let it
100%.
simmer in silence.
And if it's affecting you in the fighting game community, come see a TO, come see some like the senior staff. When like obviously we're friends with everyone, but that doesn't mean we're gonna, we're not gonna favor anyone in terms of, especially when it comes to things like that. So
we're not gonna think of you less. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, we just there are people that just want to play games. They just want to. They want to be the hero of their own story. They're coming into the scene and they want to be Ryu. They want to be Goku. Yeah. They want to learn and be the best. And so just leave that inappropriate shit. Leave it. No, we don't want none of that shit, Yeah.
This is our sacred ground, Fucking leave that shit out of there.
Yeah, man. I will put you through the final questions, man. See if we can just...
Yeah, fucking let's do it, dude.
Oh, yep. Oh, no.
Hell yeah! That's my fucking face.
That's your fucking face.
Nick Beard angle. Hell yeah.
I completely forgot to change it. There we go.
I'm all about it. Oh, there we go. It's me.
Oh, man. Hello, handsome. Okay.
Right, shoot, bro. What have you got for me? I'll answer.
Okay. I've just got to cheer myself a bit. Whew. All right. What beer would you choose to drink? Red ale, IPA, or Hefeweizen?
I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hold on, let me check my system.
No, sweet.
Okay, that's all good.
Hello?
Sound.
Hello?
No, I can't hear you, dude. I can read if you want. We can freestyle it, and I'll just read the questions you've got and just answer them out loud.
Really? Oh wait, you can't even hear me.
So I see your microphone going, but I'm not hearing anything from you.
Oh wow, that's so crazy. Wait, really?
Nope, I can't hear you.
Really?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Oh man.
Should I jump out of the video call and jump back in?
Yeah, give that a try.
Okay, all right. I'm going to do that.
All right.
Hello. Okay, now, yeah, that was weird. All right, sorry, we're back.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Wonder what happened there.
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you just fine.
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
sure. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, no, that's cool. I wonder. Okay. Okay, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Let's go.
Okay. What beer would you choose to drink? Red ale, IPA, or Hefeweizen?
I had a really good Fates Red Ale. It was a seasonal beer a couple of years ago, and it's rocked my world ever since. So I'm a Red Ale guy.
Oh, okay. Red Ale. Okay. Which duo best describes your relationship with Arashi? Ryu and Ken, Goku and Vegeta, Liu Kang and Kung Lao, Dante and Virgil, or Paul and Law?
Holy shit. Fuck. I feel like Liu Kang and Kung Lao suit us because we're both we're basically brothers from the same kind of tribe, same kind of village. So, and we go out to near around aka Auckland and do our best to defend our little realm here in Hamilton. So I think that suits us pretty well.
So who's the chosen one then?
Who's the chosen one? Shit, I low key think Dean's the chosen one because with all the results I've gotten, but he's the actual man behind the scenes, pulling stuff together, making sure Hambats works well, doing a lot of work at war. So I feel like he's actually the chosen one in terms of leading the Hamilton FGC to greater and brighter things.
Oh, good answer, man. All right. What's one move you'd want to have property changes for both Kareen and Nikali?
Oh god, I think they're both really good. That's the only issue. I think for Karen, her jump-ins are really weak. It's really hard to jump against people because they can just knock you out of the air with like a light punch, a jab. So I think for I think a better hitbox for one of her jump-ins, like mainly her cross-up. And then for Nikali, shit. Fuck. I would love for... Okay, he's got a this is like real Nikali specific, but he's got a weird thing that sometimes in V-Trigger, when you connect his medium stomp when you're finishing a combo, even though the frames are good, if the opponent has been pushed just a little bit too far out, the stomp they'll block the stomp, and then if you go into critical out like I do when I'm trying to confirm a combo, you'll get killed for it. So that's something I'd like to, maybe just fix that little hitbox on Nikali's stomp, and then I'll be stoked.
Okay. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
or Nikali, just give him a third move that makes him puke. He's only got 2 moves that make him puke. He's got his V-trigger and his V-skill. I need a third move that's going to make him puke.
All right.
So that's the other option.
No, sweet. Which KFC piece do you devour first, and why?
Oh my god! You're really coming in with the sub questions now. You're kind of fucking me up here. Oh,
I like to mix up.
Okay. Shit. Okay. If I'm starving, then breasts, because I just need to fucking fill my stomach up with food, right? Yeah. But if I'm enjoying my meal and I'm taking my time, then wings.
So yeah. I don't know why. Just in my mind, the picture of like, if I'm hungry, breasts.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't know why that was funny. All right. Simp. Winner takes all at blank. Choose from the following: skateboarding, snowmobiling, or skydiving. Okay,
so you got to describe this to me. Is Simp challenge me at something, or what is he doing?
Yeah. So you're calling out. You're calling Simp to take a challenge. Winner takes all at, and then you choose. So it could be skateboarding. It could be.
Man, I was an Avril Lavigne Nickelback skater boy back in the day, so skateboarding. I'll take some skateboarding.
Skateboarding. Okay.
Yeah, if you can't do a kickflip, then I'm in the clear.
Punk or Phenom?
It's gonna fuck me up because they both play Karen, but only Phenom plays Karen and Nikali. Yeah. So Phenom has to be. I love them both though.
Yeah. What's one song you listen to that grants you tranquility? I'm sorry for making you think.
No. I know the name of the song. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna.
No, all good.
And then. Oh my god. Okay. It's gonna drive me mental. Just Googling it now. If I can't find it. Okay. I can't find it. But the song is called Midnight, and it's gonna drive me mental because it's a band, and they're known for like being like just a pop, like cheesy pop band. Who's the band that did? And that was When I Ruled the World.
Okay. No, I think oh god, I know. Yeah, I don't know the name of them, but I know the song.
Yeah. It's driving me mental. But they have a song called Midnight, and it's like a real chill bass heavy song, and it's just like, man, it puts me at peace.
Okay, well, I get an idea, so that'll be.
Yeah. Sorry for the very description lacking answer. Yeah.
No, it's all good. What's your process for recovering from a hangover?
What's my process? It's very complicated. I lay in bed and pray for death. And that's pretty much it. Like I suffer when I get them, it's real bad. So
it sounds like you're succumbing to the hangover than recovering.
But okay. But if I'm trying to fix myself up, get the combo from Macca's, which is the 2 Big Macs, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 lots of fries, 2 drinks, and just nibble on that as slowly as I can throughout the day. and just cry, and hopefully Lindsay's there, so I've got someone to cry and have a moan to. And if not, then I'm just like, stuck at home.
Okay. Complete the sentence. Learn Nikali if you love
not learning.
Wow.
If you learn Nikali if you love not learning. Yeah, that's
okay. Shit.
Wait, okay, sorry. So that's not fair. Learn Nikali if you like winning without knowing why. That's better. That's probably better.
All right. Cool. And who is your waifu, Reno?
Okay, so this is the part that's going to go on the podcast. Lizzie, hey, it's Lizzie. Okay, but if we're talking real shit right now, we're talking real fucking shit right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. There's a lot to go through here, but in terms of keeping it straight to Street Fighter, I think Minat's like super cool, super cute character. So
she's one of your hardest matchups. She's your waifu.
It's a battle on multiple different levels, man. Emotional, physical. It fucks me up in all kinds of ways, dude. So yeah,
like a real relationship, yeah.
Should
be saying that. Should be saying.
Hi, Lizzie.
No. Minat. Okay, that's cool. No, I don't think we've had a Minat before. Cool. Hey, thanks again, Reno, for your time. Do you have any last-minute words or shout-outs to make?
Yeah, obviously, shout out to you for hosting me. I appreciate it. It's been a blast. Obviously, Riot, HG, but also just I know there's a lot of whack shit in the world and the community right now, but especially in terms of fighting games, as important as it is to call out all the bad stuff, try and hold the stuff that means well to you close to your heart, and remember those things too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and just not to go on top of what you said, but just people who just choose not to acknowledge it, like don't ignore it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It popped up on the fucking Twitter news. It's like you don't have to, like what I'm saying. Like I'm not asking you to tweet about it, but just be aware of it. Don't be ignorant to it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Sweet, man. Well, thank you, Reno.
No, all good. Thanks, bro.
No, all good, and we'll catch you again another time.